In this video, I will summarize the economy-focused stage channel that happened this Wednesday. First question, we straight up started with asking, why Gacha? Their answer was interesting since what they said was basically that on update 7 and before, the game was very easy to max out. It was so easy, in fact, it only took 40 days to max out your account, which caused people to quit since they have nothing to do in the game. So instead of adding more levels, level 15, they decided to make unlocking minis take longer time. From what they said, an SP mini like the Hog Rider should take only 2 months to unlock. Let me remind you, maxing a card in Clash Royale takes way more than 2 months, so this information is not as upsetting as it sounds. And the reason they put it behind the gacha is because there is a small chance you get lucky and you get it very quickly instead of grinding for 2 months, which should be good for the player. One major discussion was on Clashmas banner. This banner was not available for some players because they need to finish the tutorial banner first completely. This was intended as a way to protect players since it's more valuable to spend silver keys on it given that it has better chances for skins. Also, it leaves them with 3 dioramas unlocked, which is very essential for their piggy bank progression. I did then ask how many free epic keys are we supposed to get since the battle machine seemed to be too hard to get with the current banner system. Shuai said they have no clear number to be given, but they want to keep giving them in various areas like he did on the Christmas event. He also said something about looking out for events where there will be even more keys moving forward from here, so I think they are working on something there. They are looking to lock battle machine behind around 1 year of grinding, so expect to have it by next year at worst. The reason the keys are being given in places like events is due to control. If they put a lot of keys in the mini pass, then they will have less control over the economy since changing it frequently is damaging. Same thing goes for piggy bank, because if they added to epic keys and it turned out to be too much, then removing it might make people very upset. They also said they will keep monitoring numbers and will keep adding more epic keys throughout events until they find the perfect balance. We also asked why don't they provide a static price option for SP minis like Hog for 60 keys for those who don't want to gamble. Basically, normal minis are designed to have more certain kind of progression where you basically are getting minis for somewhat a static number of XP. SP minis are designed to feel different in a way where there is RNG elements involved, making them feel too unique and distinguishable from normal minis. Some people think overleveling is equivalent to locking some minis behind a temporary paywall, but we did ask about that. Donghang said the battle machine is too complex to be pay to win, like a new player would not be able to get a ton of value from it, so it's not free wins for him. Now we have seen how stupid the sailor is, and yeah, it kinda is free wins, but that's mainly a balance issue and it doesn't change their philosophy on making them hard to use. On the topic of pay to win, I asked about hero abilities being locked behind collector level. Their reasoning behind that was to give a smooth learning experience to new players and not to monetize it since there would be way better options for them to sell them if that was their intention. Let me explain. For Barbarian King's first ability, it gives him some cool survivability and is simple to understand. The third ability completely removes his ability to buff allies, which is a key feature on him, and instead it makes him way stronger himself. The ability completely changed his playstyle, making him feel like a completely new hero, which would be confusing for new players if ability were not given one by one. The main reason they feel limiting is because they are very unbalanced. For example, every royal champion just wants the third ability, so it makes it feel like you will lose if you don't have it. But if the first 2 abilities were equally good, or even not using an ability was a good option, then having no third ability would not feel as limiting as it does right now. Then I asked about the RNG of getting hero abilities in the shop. Some mirror matchups like Pink Fury will have the winner of round 1 decided on who gets his ability first. A royal champion matchup will rely on getting it very early in the start, building the post kills very quickly. Initially, they wanted to make it so both players would get the option to upgrade on round 3 without the shop. However, the issue with this is that if both players are getting it on round 3, then it becomes a guessing game. For them to create a new UI just to test this system while not being sure it works as intended is a waste of time. We can still find a middle ground, like making hero abilities always come on round 1 or increasing their chances of appearing in cycles, which doesn't need a new UI implementation. Then we talked about if we still needed tiles with the addition of classes. The answer was yes, since the tiles stop the meta from being always the same deck over and over again. I mean, if there's a new tile every day, then there will be a new deck every day. Also, they do push players into not just playing the exact same way every single game by playing the minis the same way, and overall have a more positive than negative impact. They believe the randomness add a layer of skill and another element to look out for and use as a resource to beat your opponent. They are, however, aware that some tiles like Devil's Trade are too stupid and will change them at some point on balancing. And finally, emotes. They said the whole emote system was not popular and was rarely used by players at all. Instead of deleting them, they instead made them auto-trigger on minis without the player needing to do that. I did suggest looking into bringing back animated emotes as player emotes, so we might see that in the next update, my dudes.